What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 64 of our Tracksuit to the Top series here with Lewis FC in the Premier League. Hopefully you guys are good. Today I've got for you a double header live commas. We will be taking on Reading in the Premier League and then Manchester City in the Capital One Cup. But before we get into that, we have to talk about what's happened since the last episode. Obviously, last episode we got off to a bit of a rough start. Losing to Stoke wasn't ideal. I did make some more transfers, however. We actually made two transfers. The first one was this guy, Tommaso Carrese. Obviously, I mentioned last episode I was looking for a centre-back, and we had this guy who might have been coming in from Porto. Unfortunately, he failed his work permit, so I went back to the drawing board, and we managed to find this guy, Tommaso, playing for Napoli. He's a young prospect. They wanted to loan him out. He's a very good player, and he can play right-back, so a fantastic player to get in on loan on very low wages. And then one other transfer, probably one of the better transfers we've made in this window, this guy, Patricio Battigelli. He's Argentine. He's never played for the Argentina first team, but my scouts over in Argentina have been, and I guess in South America, have been suggesting a lot of players, and this guy was one of the players who they really recommended. He hadn't played for the national team, but he got a work permit on appeal, which is a good sign. And yeah, as you can see here, we signed him from Independiente. You can see here he's played a lot of football for them, and he's performed pretty well. I'm surprised he's not played for the Argentina national team, but he's a very good, well-rounded centre-mid. He's 25. His contract was running out in the winter at the end of the Argentinian season, and we managed to sign him for 400 grand, which is a great little deal, and I'm very, very happy with that transfer. So, in terms of what's happened since the last episode, we've played a lot of games, but we have been suffering very hard from injuries, and that contributed to a bit of a slow start to the season. To give you an idea, a few of the players who got injuries, we had Juan Carlos Leon break his cheekbone. He was out for 4 weeks. We had Iheanacho, I believe, get injured. Yeah, he was out for 10 days with a gash leg, and he pulled his hamstring as well last month. So that was another injury that we had to deal with. Sonogo is injured, and, well, he was injured. He's still recovering now, but you can see he tore a groin muscle. He was out for 5 weeks. We had a lot of our big first team players get injured. They're slowly coming back to fitness now, which is good. Another one actually was Kuaku, I think, missed a game. He's now out on international duty, and in fact, a few of our players are out on international duty for today's game, which is a little bit of an annoyance. But anyway, let's talk about those results despite the injuries. And as I mentioned, it was a slow start. We lost 3-1 to Stoke last livecom, and the next result was a 3-0 defeat to West Ham away. To be honest, the scoreline flattered them, but we were certainly not in the game. We didn't deserve to get anything from it, and West Ham played very, very well. The next result, we scraped through in the Capital One Cup second round. We beat MK Dons 1-0, and this was with a very strong team. I want to do well in the Capital One Cup because it's one of the kind of gateways, I guess, to Europe and European football. So we want to do well in this, and that's obviously why I'm live coming today's game against Man City. But we beat MK Dons unconvincingly 1-0. The next two results we got was a 3-3 draw against Bournemouth. Disappointing this one perhaps, but the fight back by Bournemouth was strong. They went from 2-0 down to go 3-2 up. Matthew Lewis grabbed a late goal for us that saw us get a point. And the next game following this was another point, and this one was against Manchester United, as you can see, with Matthew Lewis grabbing the important goal. Kuaku in goal for us, grabbing man of the match. He was incredible on this day. United played very well. They had a lot of chances, and Kuaku was more than up to it. As you can see, 7 clear-cut chances Manchester United's way. We actually had 3 of our own, so perhaps to only score one of them is a little bit disappointing, but Kuaku going huge for us. The next result was a win against Everton, 3-2. They had a player sent off which really benefited us. It was always in control this game, really. We went 3-1 up and we held on well. Matthew Lewis again grabbing the goals for us. Obviously, as I mentioned, Iheanacho, having been out injured, was a big miss. The next game was against Cambridge. We went through on penalties. Again, really unconvincing performance, but we did make it through that round. And then 3 more results to tell you guys about, all in the league. We beat Leicester 3-2, a really good result. As you can see, Matthew Lewis missed a penalty, which almost cost us, but he did get the rebound, and we played fairly well that game. The next result was a 2-0 win against Cardiff. Cardiff, of course, promoted to this league with us 2 years ago, and we got a good win here. Sheyi Ojo grabbing a goal. Obviously, he's been at the club for a while now, the Nigerian international, playing a lot on the international stage. He's actually turned into a very good little player. Unfortunately, his kind of big matches, and his injury proneness has hurt him a little bit, but he's a very good player to have, and he got obviously an important goal here for us. And the last result was a 2-2 draw against Newcastle. A good result this one, and Craig Mullen, the goalkeeper, scoring a trademark penalty with Kuwaku being away on international duty. He stepped up to the plate. But all in all, an okay start. A rough start to the season, but we really upped things. And as you can see in this Newcastle game, we were probably the better team. We dominated the game, really. So 2-2 is a bit unfair. But yeah, things are looking up. As you can see, obviously, 2 defeats to start. But since then, we've gone unbeaten in our last 6 league games, getting 3 wins in those games. And looking at the league table, we're currently in 7th after 8 games. We do have a -1 goal difference, which is a little bit disappointing. But all in all, a good start. We're in the top half. Obviously, as I mentioned, Capital One Cup is today in this live com. But first, we've got a game against Reading, who are in 13th. Reading, of course, with a few former favourites who I'm pretty sure may have been released by them. We'll take a quick look at what's happening with Ben Bacon. But I'm pretty sure he's been released by them, or at least he was in line to be released by them. As you can see, actually, he's ended up at Wolves. He's still got a fairly good value, Mr. Ben Bacon. He's 22 and he's playing for them regularly in the Championship. And the other player worth checking is just Joe Robinson, who, of course, was another big player for us back in the day, who we sold to Reading back when we were in the lower leagues. Obviously, interested to see Reading go up, but they've not used these players too much. As you can see, actually, Joe Robinson in the Reading side, but he's just not the player he was. His value's terrible. His contract runs out at the end of this year, and I can't see him getting an extension because, as you can see, he's just not performed anywhere he's been loaned out to. But anyway, let's get into today's game. Because of all the international duty, we've got a few players missing. Also worth noting that I have loaned out Casasola. He wanted first team football. And also Cameron Stewart, another player. He's been at the club a while, but he wanted to move on. So we've loaned him out to keep him happy. But all in all, we still have a very strong squad at our disposal. One thing that I haven't really touched upon is the fact that I'm kind of fiddling with systems. You know, we're changing things up. We're having a bit of a play with how I guess we want to approach the game. And I've been going to a bit of a 4-3-1-2. Following our first 2 defeats of the season, I thought about maybe mixing things up, trying to get more of out of our centre mids. And this is one system that I think could work very well when our team's fully fit and we've got full strength midfielders in Sonogo, Juan Carlos Leon, and obviously Batigelli, who we signed. Those 3 centre mids are all very well rounded, but they don't really fit into a 4-4-2. And I mentioned last episode how I'd be looking to try and facilitate for our talent in the centre mid area. Obviously, with the addition of Batigelli, we needed to look at how we could change things. So we're actually using a system which, if you're familiar with my saves, you'll know that this is a very similar system to the team and kind of tactic that I used as Oxford last year. I wouldn't say I've completely kind of abandoned, I guess, the 4-4-2, but this has seen us get some good results of late. It's the system that we've been using for the last kind of run of form that we've been in. And I'm hopeful that we're going to see some more success from it today because obviously we need some success. To win in the league would be good. Obviously, following on from this game, I will be going straight into the Manchester City Capital One Cup game. As I mentioned, a game that I'd like to win if possible, simply because a run in Europe, or rather a run in the Capital One Cup, could open up a pathway to Europe and a chance there. So with Kuwaku out, we are playing Craig Mullen, our goalkeeper, in goal. The player's been here since the very beginning. He's not a Premier League quality goalkeeper. It is a risk. We have got Barrios, who is an Argentine goalkeeper who we signed in the summer, joining us in the winter at the end of his contract in Argentina, and he'll be joining us and he'll be a very good backup choice. But anyway, looking at it, apparently we appealed for a penalty but nothing given. 10 minutes into the game, not too much happening. I guess that's a good sign. Beto, of course, who's on loan from Real Madrid, is starting for us, although Pearce is through here for Reading and he smashes it wide. That is a poor finish. But yeah, Beto's playing for us. He's actually played fairly well. He was on a goal scoring drought, but he did score a few games ago, which is good for his confidence. I'm hoping he can build upon that. He's a very good finisher. And we have a chance here. Matthew Lewis. What a ball. What a run. Oh, tackle was made. Don't know if that counted as a clear-cut chance. I don't think it did. And now Berahino is on the attack. Although Harayan with a fantastic tackle there. An absolute rock in the midfield. And now can we bring things forward? Rolando Aarons playing in a newly kind of, I guess, found centre attacking mid-role. He's playing as a trequartista for us rather than traditionally out wide. Obviously that doesn't fill his strengths perfectly, but he's a good player nevertheless. I think more often than not Sonogo will play that trequartista role for us when we play the system. Looking at it, it's been a fairly close game. Reading have had a lot more chances, but they've not taken them as of yet, and now we're on the attack. Matthew Lewis misses his own opportunity. That's disappointing. But yeah, kind of surprising this is still 0-0 because there's been a lot of chances. Reading away isn't going to be an easy game here. But obviously with them being lower down in the table and given our good run of form, I'm really looking for us to kick on here and hopefully kind of continue on the rich vein of form we're in. Obviously we're unbeaten in our last 6 league games. But I need to tell the players here that I'm not happy. I'm not happy. They should be playing better. Matthew Lewis looking stressed, but the rest of the players looking fired up. So that's a pretty decent team talk. We need to up our tempo in the second half. Really look to, I guess, improve our performance. So we'll see how we get on as we are on the attack. Batagelli with an effort from long range. Blocked. But looking at the stats, we've definitely upped things and started to, this second half, a little bit brighter of the two teams. Reading had a good little phaser play. Since then, they've slowed down. We've had our own clear-cut chances. And Matthew Lewis is just skilling everyone. What a goal that is. Oh my gosh. I thought that was going to be one of the pointless highlights where they take on a load of players and smash it into row Z. But he's just scored an absolute wonder goal there. He found the ball at his feet. He kind of shimmies in and out. Skills past a few players. Dodges that sliding tackle, then just hits it from range. There's so many men ahead of him. Keeper perhaps should do better, but Matthew Lewis is not complaining one little bit. He makes it 1-0. Great start to the second half. Now can we keep that momentum going? Maybe grab 1 or 2 more and keep confidence higher. Or Reading going to peg us back immediately as Berahino charges in. Mullen with the saving goal for us. He's done okay. He's not been called upon too much yet, Mullen. Reading only having 2 shots on target, but so far he's proven himself to be up to the task. And now we're on the attack. Beto. Matthew Lewis smashes it wide. That was a real opportunity. A real opportunity. Anyway, we'll see how we get on now. As we've got the ball being pumped into our box and into our final third, and Berahino, Pierce there with the effort, hit the crossbar and is cleared away. We are living life on the edge. Reading having a lot of chances, and another chance there for them goes astray as they hit it over. But 60 minutes in, Reading having a few more clear-cut chances than us, but at the moment we're doing okay. 20 minutes left. We're 1-0 up. Debatably deservedly so. We've not created so many clear-cut chances, but we've definitely been the better team. Let's make a change here. Let's bring on Imbert, the Argentine ball-winning midfielder, the youngster, in, and I think we'll make maybe another change. In fact, yeah. Let's actually no. Changing my mind. We're not making any more changes. We're going to make the one there. Bring on some fresh legs in the defensive department in terms of, just getting fresh legs on in the defensive midfielder position. And now Matthew Lewis with a sitter hits it straight at Darlow. This has not been an exhibition of good finishing here. Both teams having a ton of chances, but no one doing a lot with them. But we're on the attack again here. Lewis, options inside. That's a good tackle. Now can Reading bring it forward? Denswell will tackle and clear it, but only straight to their goalkeeper. I feel like we're holding on even though we're pushing them back in a weird way, although we're on the attack here. Rolando Aarons. Batagelli. Why not? Oh, side netting. That was another clear-cut chance apparently. Looking at it, we're having a lot more shots than them. Perhaps defensively we've not been superb and quite at the races, but we're having a lot of shots, we're having a lot of chances. This new system, one thing I've noticed is that we are creating a lot more opportunities, which is always a good sign. But if we could hold on for 1-0, whilst it wouldn't be ideal, it'd be good, although there might still be another chance here. Leon with the tackle. And the ball's pumped over. Wood is through. Craig Mullen, please go huge. What a save that is. Craigie boy in goal. He personifies this save. He's been at the club for forever, basically. And oh my gosh, we've just concluded. Oh, it's not fair. After one huge one-on-one save, Reading grab a goal that you could say is deserved because they have created a lot of clear-cut chances. There are appeals for offside. They've not been given. Aquino with the ball in. Mullen shouldn't really be beaten at the near post, but he had made some huge saves for us, and well, that's 2 points dropped. Heartbreak. I was getting, after that first chance was missed, I was getting a little bit complacent, thinking we're home and dry, but Reading just put a knife through my heart to end the game. We are still 7th, which is good, although we are playing the early kick-off on a Saturday, which, oh boy, I feel robbed. I feel robbed. Now we have to try and pick ourselves up for the Man City game. Man City did lose though, which I guess is a good sign. But yeah, drawing 1-1 like that late equaliser, that hurts. That hurts more than perhaps just losing a game and getting hammered, because we were the better team. I mean, we had, a few clear-cut chances conceded against us. At least Sanogo's now back training. That's a good sign. But yeah, wow. I don't really know what to say. I'm in shock. We just now have to pick things up, I guess, from the Man City game, but that was an opportunity. Looking at players in the team of the week, Leon getting in the team of the week. Well, that's good for him, getting an 8.4 rating, the Mexican. You can see his physicals have declined a bit. That's because he's been injured, which has been a shame, because obviously him and Sanogo both being out as hurts in the midfield department. But obviously, both players should be fit, or at least not injured, to play in this Man City game. Whether or not I'm going to play Sanogo, I've not made up my mind just yet. Sanogo's on an international duty anyway, so it doesn't even matter. What international duty are they on, out of curiosity? Don't know where I'll find when they're due back. Is it if you hover over the int thing? Let's just check. International duty, due back on the 13th of the 11th. What competition is on? That's a long time. Oh, African qualifying for the World Cup. It's a bit odd that that's scheduled at the same time as this. Oh, okay, apparently they're missing. Wow, well, that's a bit silly. I don't think they should be on international duty for a month between 2 games, but we have to deal with that, I guess. That seems a bit odd. But yeah, tough game today. Going to be taking on Manchester City. I'm going to stick with the system we played against Reading. Obviously, we saw it get us a point against United. It's quite good and compact, which is quite nice. So yeah, let's see how we get on here. I'm actually going to drop deeper, and then I'm looking for us to hit them on the break a little bit if they attack us. Obviously, we're going to be packing out the midfield. But this isn't going to be easy, but it is a big game. We've scraped through the last 2 rounds against lesser opposition in MK Dons and Cambridge. I'm now looking for us to try and get a win here. It's going to be tough against Man City, but we are at home. Man City, I want to say we beat them once last year and maybe lost the second game, but I have a feeling maybe we even lost both. But it's going to be a challenge. But 20 minutes in, no goals either way. And looking at the momentum bar, at least for possession for the last 5 minutes, we're looking slightly ahead, although City on the attack here. Zivkovic, who works absolute magic sometimes in FM, can't work magic there. I've jinxed him. Well, that's a shame. He hits it wide. But yes, things this year haven't got off to the smoothest of starts. Obviously, injuries have hit us hard, and we were quite lucky last year with injuries. And one of my big worries this season is our squad depth isn't perfect in terms of the players we have for every position. Obviously, that's still part of us adapting to Premier League football. Obviously, the fact we're still only in a stadium that holds 5,000 people holds us back as well, because we don't make that much money to reinvest in more squad depth. But that's going to hopefully be resolved at the end of this year, as we do concede to make it 1-0 City. But yeah, other than the injuries, we have got things back on track. Obviously, I am experimenting tactically. I'm not really expecting us to win this game. That game against Reading was disappointing just because we played quite well. We conceded a few clear-cut chances. I kind of feel like this system we have right now isn't perfect. We certainly concede a few too many chances. But at half-time to only be 1-0 down to City is it's okay. It could be worse, especially considering that we are missing a few key players who were playing in African World Cup qualifiers, which are a month apart from one another, and they're not returning in the meantime. Obviously, I'm looking forward to getting the players back in mid-November. You know, players like Sanogo, Kouakou, Iheanacho. We're missing a few very big players for us. Obviously, the World Cup qualifying thing, I'm not sure if it's a bug or not, the fact that they've gone for this time. I can only assume it is. It might be related to the database. But at least it only comes around once every 4 years, the issue that we're currently experiencing. So I'm hoping that once our players are back, we can really kick on. But anyway, we're on the attack here. We do have possession of the ball against Man City. We've got an opportunity. Beto lays it off, but it only goes as far as Poldrotti, who gives away the ball, and now Zivkovic has room to run into. I can't talk. Fortunately, he's got really selfish again there and smashed it wide. But yeah, things not too bad at the moment, and we've got a chance here. Lewis from the set piece whips it in. Corrace is there. What a goal for him. Tommaso Corrace. It doesn't even matter. He's not got too much pace, but he's got a goal for us there. The player on loan from Napoli, the new centre-back, a player who I'm looking to perhaps contribute quite a lot this year as a backup centre-back who may well force his way into the first team. He's got a great goal for us there to make it 1-1. And looking at the stats, we are having a little bit more of the ball. It's been a very 50-50 affair, but we are not disgracing ourselves right now. Team is playing fairly well. And they are making some changes, City are. So 20 minutes left. Can we make something happen here? Lucas on the attack for them. He's running at us fairly fast. Rogerino out wide. Ball whipped in. That is headed away well. Now we need to defend the second ball as the ball goes back wide. The ball goes back into the same area. It's off the post. Just deal with that. It's cleared away. So this would go straight to extra time, which is why I'm not making any changes just yet. But yeah, this would go to extra time if it's still a draw, though. We're on the attack here. Matthew Lewis scores to make it 2-1. And now we go defensive. Now we don't park the bus per se, but we certainly drop just a few men a little bit deeper. In fact, we can't really do that, unfortunately. But yeah, let's not be quite so adventurous going forward. Perhaps just have our midfield trio sit that little bit deeper. Man City on the attack here. 81st minute. They need an equaliser to take it to extra time. Can we defend it? It's another greedy effort by one of their players. They are playing very much as individuals. Let's make a change here. Let's bring on Imbert for goals. Carlos Leon's not had the best game ever, so we'll bring on Casper De Noor there, I think, just to get some fresh legs in the midfield. And also replace two players who haven't performed great. Obviously, we need to just hold on now. 2 minutes left. Let's not do what we did against Reading, boys. Let's get a huge win here. We're on course for it. What a win this is going to be. This gives us a real chance in this competition, I feel. There's still some big teams left in it at the moment, but a 2-1 win at home against Manchester City is a great result, especially considering the game against Reading and how poor that was. We fought hard. We played well. We conceded from a set piece. Looking at it, Manchester City, I guess the big shock. Also worth noting that Arsenal got knocked out too, and we are now into the quarter-finals of the competition. So I guess we'll just get to the draw as quick as we can to wrap up today's episode. If you can hear some weird background noise, I swear there's a plane flying around my house just trolling. Just trolling. It's taking the piss. Anyway, let's see who we get in this Capital One Cup draw. And we get Newcastle in the quarter-final. The other teams left in it, Bournemouth, Southampton, so that's a South Coast derby, Everton, Manchester United and Tottenham, Chelsea. So really, we've got quite a kind draw there, you'd have to say. That could certainly be a lot worse. I'm not sure if I'm going to live-com that Newcastle game. I might do. We'll see how things pan out. Actually, it's not for a little while, so that might be a good game to live-com. Hopefully I'll see you guys for that video, though. Should be a good game against Newcastle in the Capital One Cup. If you've enjoyed this video, as always, guys, smash the like button. We've got some tough games coming up, but we have already proven ourselves to be capable of beating the likes of Man City in today's episode. So yeah, that's going to wrap things up from me. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed, smash the like button. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.